With the fate of the world hanging in the balance, Tucker and Christian battle once more over the fate of a video game. Little do they know that this video game is an anime. Christian, what'd you think of Asura's Wrath?
Well, like the first hour, I was like, okay, this is God of War, but way cooler. And then I was like, okay, this is God of War, but not a video game.
Right.
But it's pretty awesome. It's Japanese in very cool ways, in very epic set piece, anime screaming, powering up ways.
Okay. Well, I'm going to disagree with you, Christian. I don't think this game is very good. I think this is a beautiful idea that someone had, and not a great video game. But the crux of that argument is this idea of the spectacle, right? Mm-hmm. Like, this is crazy, the things that are happening on the screen. And we could go down and list off all these crazy things that happen, like when he stabs you from the moon with his sword and then rides the sword down and that kind of thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
But spectacle doesn't do much for me when it's just images on a screen. Like, you can make anything, you know? Mm-hmm. There's no game logic applied to any of the spectacle that's happening. It's just a cutscene. It's a crazy thing, but it's just you could make anything. Like, it's not impressive because there's no constraints.
The anime DLC chapters kind of lay that bare. The fact that this kind of has no reason to be a video game.
Should we describe what this game is? I don't know. It's kind of...
Yeah. So you play as this angry dude.
Okay.
Who's trying to kill a bunch of gods on his way to reconcile his family's troubles.
But tell me about Asura's Wrath.
Okay. So you're this dude named Asura. You're playing with all your other demigods just fine. You're blowing up all these bad creatures that flood. Yeah, the Goma that flood the planet.
Right.
You're falling down in space, blowing those guys up. And after job well done,
pat on the
chill
back.
back on your home planet, and someone's like, hey, the Emperor wants you, or whatever.
Yep.
So Asura goes and talks to the Emperor, and the Emperor's dead, and everyone says it's Asura. Banished.
We've hit the part where I lost the plot on this game and didn't find it until the DLC ending chapter. Because what? He just shows up and then he's dead, and then they're like, you have killed the Emperor, because there's all these... This is a very Hindu game.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
Lots
crazy.
of Buddhist stuff going on.
Yeah. So it's when I get confused, I just have to remember, you know, this is just like this is allegory. This is like they're taking this other story and they're kind of turning it into this like future anime. But within that, there's so many like time skips, and people die but they're not dead, and people should be older but they're not older because 12,000 years have passed, and all this insane things happening, and it turns this plot, which is all the game is. To be clear, this game is 100% you just watch things happen, except for like bad Devil May Cry section, or bad God of War section.
There's 3 parts of the gameplay.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
There's the bad beat 'em up.
Yep.
There's the bad shooter, the bad Panzer Dragoon ripoff.
Yep.
And then there's QuickTime events.
And they also break it up into like episodes?
Yes.
Like
this is very TV showy.
Yeah.
Like Metal Gear Solid 5 levels of TV show.
I love it, though. I think that's one of the best parts they do, because they acknowledge that it's an anime, and then they even have like the mid-episode like bumper for no reason. For absolutely no reason. Just complete like contrivance that they have to cut to commercial, so they do like a shing.
Yeah, it's great. Great presentation.
Yes, but I don't like the way this game looks, really.
Yeah.
It's very anime studio gets their hands on Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
I don't like when that happens too much.
Yeah, I love the hand-drawn stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's the little screens before a chapter starts. That's kind of like showing you. Meanwhile, in Asura's Wrath, you've got this happening in the plot.
Yeah, and they like highlight the artist that drew this.
Yeah,
bumper.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I like that. And there's the one illustrated interlude where is right after Asura is deemed a traitor, after the Emperor dies in front of him.
Yeah.
And then it does like this weird mythology thing, which I really dug, which was like the hypothetical mythology in which Asura killed the Emperor, which he really didn't, but he was banished and he was a bad one. And so, I mean, it's just this little, like, vague thing that I liked a lot, but it's like the only thing we have to go on for 2,000 years that supposedly passed.
Right. It's good. I know. I really like that too, because it's like, this is what people are told. This is the tale of Asura.
Mm-hmm.
And then you understand why he's so gosh darned angry at everyone.
Yeah,
Why he's gonna burst. Speaking of which, do you feel like they kind of shoot their... Is there a better way to say that? They
Blow
kind
their
of
load?
peak early, I feel like.
Okay, yeah.
With the big fat guy.
Okay.
That's
I
all
wasn't a big
cool.
fan of his voice acting.
No.
He was my least favorite.
Okay, that's fair.
Especially when he
was
turned giant and then was like trying to be evil big man. Or I guess big man.
Right.
I didn't like that.
Okay. But the part where he grows to the size of the moon and then tries to smush you with his finger.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. But yeah, this... go ahead.
Well, they just kind of like step it back after that, though, where it's like, then he's in the village. Like, I don't think the quiet moments work too well in this game. They're just kind of boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this game's... It suffers from... The story of it suffers from, like, inconsistent rule syndrome, where, like you're saying, they blow their load because he, like, turns into this giant thing, and he just, like, pokes him into the ground, but it's totally fine. It's totally fine.
Yeah, this game just exists in service of the moment. Like, as long as something is happening every single time. Don't think about what happened before. Don't think about what's coming up next. It's just the part where he's punching.
And things are like so ridiculous that you can't really expect what's going to happen next. But when you're trying to kind of divine a consistent rule set for this thing, it can kind of rob some of those moments of their weight or significance when you know that they're just like arbitrarily writing this in there in order to make it cool.
Yeah. But what I will say to that is I agree with you as far as the plot, but I think they do set up some gameplay systems and then they mess with them towards the end and at the very end, and that's where I think this game is like, mwah.
Yeah.
When you play as Yasha, that was super cool, I thought.
Yeah.
His music's very good. And he's faster.
Yes, he is.
Like, it's not just like a skin changer. Like, it feels different playing this game. And
Definitely.
he has been like a nothing character up until that point, like every other character. But then it sort of grows into this thing where there's actually this relationship going on between these two, and they actually do an okay job fleshing that out, I feel like, as the story goes on. And I guess I just feel like there's like 2 chapters worth of, or there's like a third of this game that's really good, and then the rest is leading up to those moments, which is weird in this episodic thing where I kind of played like 1, 2, 3 episodes at a time. And if you hit a bad batch of episodes, it's just not a good time.
Yeah. My main problem is that just none of the gameplay was very good or good at all.
Yeah.
Because you've got the combat, which is kind of the main gameplay, I guess. Not really, because most of the game is cutscenes and QuickTime events, but
Yeah.
like they give you the tutorial for the combat and they sit you there for a while like, okay, this is the game, time to learn. And it's not very good. You just kind of frantically do combos everywhere, and if you miss, who cares? You just kind of get close to the enemy and start button mashing again.
You're just filling up a bar and trying to keep a different bar from emptying. And it's not hard to do that, so it just becomes this thing of like, how can I do this the fastest because I don't want to do this anymore. Like, beyond that, there's no like strategy to it or...
Yeah, and by abstracting it into just filling this bar so that you can burst mode and then you just arbitrarily continue the story. As soon as you get that burst mode, it kind of makes the fights feel more pointless because you're not actually, killing the dude while you're fighting him.
Right.
You're just filling your bar.
Right.
Yeah, and then also the shooting sections I felt were, very mismanaged because they feel even more pointless than the combat sections.
And they're so
you can shoot
repetitive.
a bunch of stuff, and there's some cool stuff you can shoot at, but like it's never clear if you're really killing things, and it doesn't feel like you're actually making any progress by shooting stuff.
It's time wasting. It's just like, when is this done?
Yeah.
I don't want to, because nothing cool happens because you're just falling.
Yeah.
Like, even in the combat, I guess, there's like cool little things where you press Y when they're down, and then, or triangle when they're down, and then they like, he does like a thing, and it's like, oh, the bar filled up a bunch. Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't really happen when you're just falling and shooting things.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Should we maybe talk about how the DLC is kind of weird and kind of like it's kind of outside this game? I don't know. I wasn't too put off by the way that you have to pay $7 to experience the last quarter of this game type of thing. Because I feel like the first 3 chapters end, and it's like, okay, this is the end of a video. I mean, they do like the late. Never seen this before in my life. They do like a late title screen.
Yeah.
That floored me. I was like, this is so cool. It's such a nothing moment, but it's just like, I've never seen this before.
Yeah, it's weird because that throws me off. As someone who plays a lot of video games, whenever I see something that I'm like not expecting, I'm like, am I playing this game right? Like there's like a credit scene, like
Did something break?
2 or 3 chapters in or something, like Asura's like falling or dying or something, and then it's just credits.
Right.
I'm like, did I do something wrong?
Oh, did you get the bad ending?
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know.
And then, you know, you fight the bad guy and you win, and they don't really tie anything up.
No.
There's no denouement, but the game ends. And then you can go to the store and you can pay $7 and you can see, like, the best part of the game. Start to back, I felt like.
Yeah.
But I don't think... My understanding is that was not intentional. My understanding, this was going to be the sequel, and then they're like, well, there's not going to be a sequel. So, like, okay. I just feel like they start to build out stuff in that ending where I do want a sequel now, because it really seems like they were hitting on something. It kind of devalues the rest of the game for me, because the rest of the game is like the same thing over and over.
Yeah. And it's like bonkers how they just blow up the game's universe and lore by just introducing this one character, because at the end of the game they're just like, okay, I'm the god of the universe, you did great, touch my hand and then you'll basically rule everything. And then he's like, nah, I'm angry, I'm just gonna punch you in the face instead. I
sat there because I was like, he's tricking me.
Yeah.
I don't want to exam, so I was like, I'm just gonna see if something happens. But nothing happened. It took a while, and then I just
it did it.
But then he punches him. But yeah, the way that escalates, and it's just like they mess with the way QuickTime events work, and then
they do.
There's the moment, which is so amazing to me, and I feel like it is the pinnacle of this type of game design, where they start showing the prompts for the bad guy, which in universe is like this. He is God, like squared, like he's the god of everything. Yeah. And you're just punching him in this void, and all of a sudden, like, he's failing QuickTime events because you're beating him. That is insane. That is just amazing to me. But again, it's not like a great. It almost has nothing to do with it being a video game. Yeah. I don't know. I go back and forth on this game a lot. I don't know. Yeah.
What was your favorite fight?
Gosh.
Other than big universe boss at the end, obviously.
Yeah. I feel like fighting your mentor guy was pretty good.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
August is his name, I think. That was my favorite fight. I love that fight. Because they have classical music in the background. Great. And you finish him off with sword in the mouth, I think. That's awesome. Yep. And these people can just fly around in space, which is kind of funny. And so he his sword can grow very long for some reason. just stabs you with it and pins you into the ground from outer space.
I just they can fly around in space. Yeah, why are they even fighting? They can just kill each other with their eyeballs, and they're just punching each other. It's fine though. Yeah. Yeah, there's so much spaghetti western stuff going on in this game too, where it's just showdowns in the desert.
Heck yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. This game's alright.
Is it because we're ending on a high note?
I guess so. But just go watch it on YouTube, you know? I really feel like you could just do that and it'd be fine.
Yeah, there's no reason to really play the game. And then you could skip all the boring parts, like the combat sequences.
Give me like you gotta give me like a ballpark here. I can start working.
Yeah,
with it.
it's almost a video game. I feel like Beyond Two Souls,
It's
but
almost
better.
a video game. It's definitely better in what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you. Yes, it is better than Beyond. I think it's
But-
better than Vanquish.
Yeah, it's less of a video game,
Yeah,
but it's better. It has much better moments than any of Vanquish's moments, so...
I think it's better than Sonic 3 Blast Rhyme,
I think so too.
Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days. I hit Resident Evil and I'm starting to
where it
reel
gets
it
tough.
back in a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, it's better than Chain of Memories though, right?
Sure. Below Sonic the Hedgehog, better than Chain of Memories. That's where I'm coming.
That feels perfect to me.
Beautiful. Right smack dab in the middle.
Yeah. Go watch it. It's worth a watch.
Heck yeah.